It is December 1, the first Wednesday in December. And December is the month of life, it's the month of activity, it's the month of excitement, it's the month of Christmas, it's the month of everything. And we're celebrating that this month. Of course, we're using our daily inspiration for better living, coming out of the Universal Foundation for Better Living. And our writer for this month is out of Trinidad and Tobago. And we're so excited. If you are ready to celebrate life this month, all of this month, type life in the chat, because we're giving thanks for life. And life, in terms of what it represents, is the activity of, it represents activity actually. And so we're grateful for this activity. We're grateful for healing. We're grateful for health. We're grateful for all the things that we will experience in the month of December as we talk about life today. And not just any life, but abundant life. There's a song that I love that says, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. It comes from scripture. You know it. And so the team is here today to remind us that God came that we may live and live abundantly. Come on.
Come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life through eternity. I did not come to condemn the world or shame you for your wrong. I have come to heal the brokenhearted and give your heart a song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more abundantly, more abundantly. I come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life through eternity. I did not come to condemn the world or shame you for your wrong. I have come to heal the brokenhearted and give your heart a song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. Joy. Yeah. Joy. Yeah. Joy. Joy.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Joy. Joy.
Oh yeah, joy.
Joy. Joy. Joy.
Oh happiness.
Joy, joy, joy. Joy, I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more abundantly, more abundantly.
Wow, it's so fitting. Keep that music going. It is so fitting that on today, December 1, we're talking about abundant life. December 1 is also celebrated as International World AIDS Day. And that is when we take time out to remember those people living with HIV and AIDS and those persons who would have made their transition as a result of HIV and AIDS. All right, Reverend Claudia Gibbs out of Trinidad and Tobago is talking to us about abundant life. And she says, today as we observe World AIDS Day, people around the globe unite to show support for people living with HIV and to remember those who have died from AIDS-related illnesses. In the midst of this, we affirm that the life force within humankind has the capacity to withstand and conquer any dis-ease. Life is the only reality because God is life. It is a spiritual quality given to us by God. Dis-ease and all its symptoms are facts which can change at any time. However, the nature of life is permanent and unchanging. When we understand this, we align our thinking and feeling with this truth and begin to climb through our words and manifestations of life in its fullest throughout our body. we begin to claim through our words and manifestation life in its fullest throughout our body. Jesus said he came to bring the awareness of abundant life to humanity. The abundant life includes health for one and all. God's will of a healthy, happy, and prosperous life remains untouched and freely and accessible no matter the condition of our health. And so we read in John 10, verse 10, I come that they might have life. Come on, need to give me some more of that. Come on.
I come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life through eternity. I did not come to condemn the world or shame you for your wrong. I have come to heal the broken hearted and give your heart a song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more abundantly, more abundantly.
That is the promise. If I promised you $1 million US, right? And you knew me as someone who was honest and trustworthy, then you would count on it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you expect it? Wouldn't you expect to receive it? Wouldn't you expect to get it? In the same way, don't you know God as someone who is trustworthy? Don't you know God to deliver on God's promises? So God said, right? Jesus reminds us that we've come, that God is here, that we are here to live life and to live it abundantly. So why then are you afraid? Why then are we not calling forth this life? Why are we not calling forth this activity in every moment with everything that we do? We can begin right now, and that is what this month is about. This month is about calling forth life in every area, because life is not restricted to your physical body. Remember, you can call forth the life energy in anything. You can pick up your purse or your wallet or your bank account and you can declare life. Activity, that's activity. You want that activity to keep moving. Remember, money must be in circulation. Yeah, as it goes out, it comes in. That's why you must give and receive. That's what it says. As you've given, it's returned to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You can call forth life on your job. You can call forth life on that project, whatever it is that seems to be stalling or you're not sure. Call forth life. That's the activity of God. Call it forth. Call forth life in your house. Call forth life in your relationship. Yes, some people, the first thing they want to do when the relationship goes awry is them say they want to get a divorce or they want to move on. But call forth life. Because remember, the relationship you're having in any way is a relationship with yourself. So you have to start looking inside you and say, okay, where in me, God, is this life activity not demonstrating, not showing up? And call forth that life on a daily basis. When you get up in the morning and you take a deep breath and you breathe in the life of God. Walk around your house, 4 corners of your house, and call forth life. Just see life moving in through the day and taking charge of everything that is coming your way. That is the power that you have. And remember, you are to have it more abundantly. So even as people work through health situations, even as people living with HIV are dealing with whatever it is that they're dealing with at this point in time, they too can call forth life. Because this is, and notice I'm saying this is temporary. It's not the real of you. It's not the true of you. Remember, the true of you is spirit. The true of you is God. What is showing up now in your body, in your life, in your affairs, in your thinking, in your finances, in your relationships, is what is showing up now. It wasn't always this way. That's how you know it's not permanent. But we know that God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and forevermore. And so our attention and our focus is on God. It's not on the dis-ease. It is not on the pain. It is not on the broken anything, because those things change. And they can change, as we know, in the twinkling of an eye. But it depends on what you're giving your attention to. It depends on what you're giving your attention to. Reverend Gibbs says life is the only reality because God is life. Remember, we say there is only one power and one presence active in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Now, I always say to myself, if you said there's only one power and one presence, then how can there be something else? How there's only one power, and that power is God the good. And God is life, and life is God. So then, whatever is showing up around you is not the real or is not the truth, capital T. Is not the reality, capital R. Because things are changing every day. At one point in time, today it may be sunny, tomorrow it may be raining. So it's not that, you'd say that, okay, it's sunny every day. No, it's not. Things change. People change. But God is constant. And that is why we are encouraged by Reverend Gibbs to align our thinking and our feeling with the thought that life is permanent. So even when somebody is not physically here in this body to express so that you can see and feel and taste and touch and smell them, does that mean that life doesn't exist? Life still exists. Because life is permanent and unchanging. And before they took on this body, they existed. Before they took on, remember the scripture tells you, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. How did I know if it didn't exist? Like really? So, we have to be able to spend some quiet time, asking to be guided, calling forth life. Instead of talking doom and destruction, instead of talking about the new variant and what it's going to do and what it's not going to do, talk about life. Talk about how life is progressing, how this activity of God is moving into and as you. And how it is showing up as your family, how it is showing up as your son, as your daughter, how it is showing up in your exam, how it is showing up on your job, how it is showing up in your bank account. This life activity. And that you're participating in it. That this health is yours. Every single day as you bathe yourself in life. Life. God's life is here. As your cells regenerate themselves, just keep bathing yourself in life. The life of God. Remember the just song, I did not come to condemn the world. So if God didn't come to condemn you, why then are you condemning yourselves? Regardless of what you were told, regardless of what may have happened to you in the past, regardless of what you may be going through now, stop condemning yourself. Stop beating up on yourself. Stop judging yourself so harshly. And stop judging others too. Because all of us are expressing the same life activity. It is no more over here than it is over there. And not because you come to church or somebody doesn't go to church means anything at all. The same activity of God is moving into and as each person. Where is your attention? Where is your attention? Is your attention on the life of God? So let's say you're feeling a pain in your tummy, wherever in your body, somewhere in your physical temple. One of the things you can do is to just close your eyes, center yourself, focus your energy on that area, and call for life. Life. God's life is here. God's life is expressing right here as me. God's life is expressing from the top of my head to the sole of my feet. I live and move and have my being in this life of God. Life is here. You just keep calling for life. Keep calling forth life. Keep looking for life. You look outside, you see the trees that are blowing, you see the grass that is growing. That's life, that's activity. And you keep centering your attention there and you shift your attention from what seems to be the disharmony or the pain or the dis-ease. And what you recognize is that things start to match where your dominant energy and attention goes. And that's what it means when it says, I come that you might have life. I come that you might remember who you really and truly are. Jesus knew that. Jesus knew. And Jesus kept saying, look here, stop worshiping me. Stop worshiping this thing. And when Jesus couldn't get people to understand, to put down worshiping this physical thing, Jesus said, okay, let me just take away this physical thing off this earth plane and then see what you're going to do. And over 2,000 years later, some of us still worshiping this physical thing. Even though Jesus said it's not about this. And that the kingdom of God is within you. Even though Jesus put away this physical body, we are still caught up in it. It is entrusted to us for a period of time, and yes, we are to take care of it. Yes, we are to treat it with the best amount of health, but we are not it. We are more than our bodies. Always have been. More than our bodies. And we have to come to remember that, and that is how we can experience life. So, for the month of December, remember the month of December is also celebrated as the birth of Christ in Christianity. That's also life. Birth, life. But let's take it beyond that for this month. Because it is about what are you birthing this month? What's that idea? What's that dream? What's that goal? What's that project that you need to nurture and give life to, so that come the 25th of December, you too can be born. That project, that idea, that dream, that goal can also celebrate a birthday. How are you nurturing also the Christ presence within you? That's also something that came to me about December. December is the time to spend nurturing the Christ within you. Remember, Jesus had to spend time doing that, nurturing the Christ. When everything was coming and the devil took him up into the wilderness and tempted him, and he had to say, no, I'm not going that road with you. You alone going there. Jump off and save the world. Since you're bad, you're a big bad man, jump off. No. Turn stone to bread. No, not doing that. We don't eat bread alone. Yeah? So, you too have to be able to face and deal with those uncultivated thoughts represented by the wilderness. And you have to put them in line. When they come into your mind and they look like they want to take over and carry you down a path of temptation, you have to be strong enough to say no. That is nurturing the Christ. That is nurturing that inner guidance within you. And the more that you feed the Christ, just like if a woman was pregnant, she has to eat for two. She has to now nurture this child that is being birthed. In the same way, each of us must nurture our Christ nature. We must spend time, quiet time, nurturing the Christ. And that is what the birth of Christ is about. That's what Christmas is about. Yes, it's about giving gifts and all the wonderful things, but there's something for you to do. There's something for me to do. And on this day that we're starting this month of life, it's about knowing first and foremost that we deserve to live an abundant life. We were brought here to experience abundance. We were brought here to be happy, healthy, and prosperous. It is God's will. We always say it, and Reverend Gibbs writes of it as well. And that remains untouched, she says, and freely accessible, no matter the condition of our health. God's will of a happy, healthy, and prosperous life is still available. So in this consciousness, let's bring ourselves or somebody close to us into this space of life. And if needs be, just mentally call their names. Somebody may be having a health experience. You may be having a health experience. And in this moment, let's just begin to know God's life is now active in me or in that person, whatever their name is. God's life is now regenerating every cell, every muscle, every tissue, every organ. God's life is demonstrating as my heart, as my kidneys, as my liver, as my hair, my hands, my toes, my neck, my eyes, wherever it is that there may seem to be an absence of that life of God. God's life is demonstrating as that. As the writer said, God is my health, I can't be sick. And so I now associate myself with God and not with any disease that may or may not be hereditary. I only inherit life. I only inherit health. I only inherit wealth because I'm a child of God first and foremost. And so, God, we call forth life. Life for ourselves, life for our families, life on the job, life in our relationships, life in our finances, life in our social circles. And we just know that this life activity is constant and is permanent. And because we know this, we can rest assured that you never leave nor forsake us. And so we can trust in your life. Just breathe. And every breath you take, just remember that you're breathing in the life of God. Every breath you release, you're breathing out everything that is unlike the life of God. And in this consciousness, we're knowing that the light of God is moving around us. It's moving in through and as every area of our lives. It is brightening the way and shining a direction that we must take. The love of God is wrapping us up. The love of God is enfolding us. The love of God is harmonizing everything that is unlike itself. The love of God is drawing to us everything that we need in the moment to fulfill the good desires of our heart. The power of God is protecting us. There's nothing to fear. Yea, though we walk through the valley of death, there is nothing to fear, for our God is with us. And the presence of God goes before us to make our way smooth, easy, and successful. So that wherever we are, whatever is going on, we're consistently reminded that all is well. Be at peace. And remember today, John 10:10. as the team takes us out. John 10:10. Remember, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Declare life. Speak life with me today. Life. As you go on every single thing, just say life. And somebody bad drive you on the road, you bless them. Life. And somebody send you a text message, you say life. And the check don't come to you about life. And they say something bad about you, you say life. Just keep speaking life. Because remember, the words that you speak do not return to you void, but accomplishes that which you sent them to do. And so, get a pep in your step, a little activity, a slide in your glide, and remember, I come that you might have life more abundantly. Come on.
I come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life through eternity. I did not come to condemn the world or shame you for your wrong. I have come to heal the brokenhearted and give your heart a song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more abundantly, more abundantly. I come that you might have life more abundantly. I come that you might have life through eternity. I did not come to condemn the world or shame you for your wrong. I have come to heal the brokenhearted and give your heart a song. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. 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 Joy.
Oh yeah.
Joy. Joy.
I tell you sweet joy.
Joy. Joy.
When I walk into the valley of God, joy.
Joy. Joy. Joy.
When I don't have any money in my pocket,
Joy.
it's
Joy.
all about joy.
Joy. Joy. Joy. Joy, I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life. I come to give you joy. I come to give you life more abundantly, more abundantly.
Thank you so much for joining this Noonday experience. Please remember, share this life with everyone that you meet. Have a great day. Thank you all for continuing to join us for Noonday Inspiration. Make sure you join us tomorrow at 12. And the other days at 12 and then on Sunday at 10:30 as we continue to experience the goodness of God. It's Harvest Sunday coming up. We also have our Christmas memory service coming up, and there's a special treat for you in December. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the gifts and talents and resources that you share with us here at the Universal Center of Truth for Better Living. Have a blessed week.